Okay, if you skip the next 2 minutes of this video and you decide to buy Prompter or Prompter XL and complain about the issues that you didn't know existed, I legitimately have no f***ing sympathy for you. They need to fix this because nobody wants the current glitches, but bigger.
To me, the voice sync is really the killer feature of Camera Hub and one of the biggest value adders to our Prompter product.
You want to scroll? That is not optimal. That can't happen.
Camera Hub and Prompter give you full control over your delivery. Let me go in here. We'll change something here.
That is not the end of my script. It stopped advancing so that I could see the next line.
Because there are areas where you can do so. Can do so. Can do so.
And then I use bullet points for the rest of the video. So with the Stream Deck controls, I can use the dial to scroll at my own pace, and then use the forward and back controls to move between sections.
There we go. And then I'm gonna go hit play, and it takes a second here to get ready if it decides to. Of course, today we've just had the live stream curse.
Ready to roll the camera? Whether it's a video script or talking points, Camera Hub and Prompter give you full control over your delivery. Man, f*** this company. Elgato only changed a few things here. First, instead of the individual cold shoe mounts, now there's a whole cold shoe rail. A 15.6-inch display which is now capable of full 1080p, which was sorely missing from the original Prompter. The outer housing's hard plastic gives recycling bin vibes. This actually brings up a point nobody is talking about I really want to get to later in the video. And swinging around the back, there is the DisplayLink powered USB-C port, which now sits next to a power button, which is welcomed. And to be honest, that's it. Sorry, there's the new metal camera mount, and the display is removable, which is kind of interesting, although I have removed it and put it back to realize it's off center. And yes, you can make that mistake. Also, it's tempting to hold the Prompter by the display when you need to move it. For the love of God, don't do that. I'm just going to cut to the chase here and let's talk about the overall size difference. I've got my second camera here, and I'm actually just going to try to pull focus on the two Prompters running Camera Hub side by side. So Prompter XL obviously on the left, and then on the right side we've got the original Prompter. And I have to say that Prompter XL, obviously due to its size difference, is a lot easier to read. I don't see a brightness difference. It's hard to tell on camera, and yes, I'm aware of the big reflection in the original Prompter. That's just the floor. If you're a solo creator and you have a YouTube set, it's very hard to keep things off the floor, so sorry about that. However, that being said, I don't see a brightness difference. I will say that the readability on the Prompter XL is a lot better. So hopefully this gives you a relatively good idea of what to expect if you were to jump from Prompter to Prompter XL. Moving my camera over from the original Prompter over to Prompter XL was extremely straightforward, and it was actually very easy because the new rail system and the screws is a lot less clunky than the original Prompter. I probably have to fine-tune this a bit, but I'll do it after I'm done this video. I mentioned during the beginning the resolution on Prompter XL being full 1080p. The original Prompter was only capable of 1024 by 600, which was comical. If you saw the video where I used an iPad app to fix Prompter, you'll see that I ended up having to use OBS to scale my output properly. You still have that option, but now there's actual pixel real estate to use, which is a nice quality of life improvement. And speaking of quality of life, having a power button on the back is actually pretty nice. This way the screen isn't constantly running if you're one of those people who keeps their computer on at all times. Something I haven't seen mentioned is that when you're using voice activated software, you can easily see it in your peripheral vision when you're doing actions to make it look less like you're reading off of a teleprompter, which is actually pretty nice. The reason I wanted Prompter XL is for the size benefit. I shoot with a 50mm 1.8 lens, and the distance to get this look that I want is not great using the original Prompter. Okay, so that's the good, but you saw the title of this video. I'm a sucker for punishment, so what about the bad? This is partly about Prompter and about Prompter XL, and a part of this is about Elgato as a company. Spoiler, it's kind of a lot about Elgato as a company. So let's start with the price. I'm in Canada, and as of recording this, it's listed right now for $779 Canadian. After tax, it came in at just over $880. I didn't get hit with any duties or shipping charges, but that's a big yikes. In the US, it's listed for $600 US. And if this wasn't clear in the intro, I didn't get this sent to me. I bought both prompters with my own money. Let me be honest. They should have released both of the sizes at the same time. It seems like the original prompter was aimed at streamers and was disruptive. Obviously disruptive at its original price point. I think it would have been a better presentation, even at the current price point for the Prompter XL, if they came out at the same time. Hear me out. Because the thing is, you'd be compelled to compare the pricing to other teleprompters in its size class. Instead, it was released this way, and now there's sticker shock. Not a great look, Elgato. While I'm talking about bad looks from Elgato, I got a few more points on this topic. Like, their live stream they did to promote Prompter XL was, lightly putting it, a friggin' disaster. And it's still on their Twitch channel as a VOD. I wouldn't normally point this out, except they're a company who makes products with a primary focus on live streaming. If they had spent like an extra half hour, okay, let's just say an hour, like an hour extra before they went live, they could have resolved a lot of the issues they had, like this gem. Not to mention voice sync outright failing on the stream.
And then I'm gonna go hit play, and it takes a second here to get ready if it decides to. Of course, today we've just had the live stream curse. I might need to restart it here.
The amount of nervousness in this live stream, honestly, it gives Greg Brockman, you know, president of OpenAI, yeah, it gives those vibes.
And so it literally did all the research, and you can see some sources at the bottom.
No, welcome back, everyone.
That
has been going on here since the beginning of the week. It's been a really fun week so far. We've
AMD.
Have some pride, Elgato. You're a f***ing streaming company who focuses on streaming. Another bad look is this. This is actually on my channel after I did the last video talking about Prompter. Did you guys take this seriously? Because there's quite a few comments on that video asking why Elgato can't figure it out. You were better off not commenting at all on the video if there was no intention to follow up. This video that they commented on, I posted in July. It is January, and nothing has changed. Also, I forgot to mention something so stupid like the inability to edit scripts in Camera Hub without the prompter connected. So if I have my computer and I'm popped out at a coffee shop and I want to do my script editing and I need to rely on Camera Hub, I have to take the stupid prompter with me? Like, did they fix any of the issues I mentioned about the script interface in Camera Hub? No. This community outreach is literal lip service. Does anybody else remember when Elgato was a company that wasn't tone deaf, when they made things like this, like the Stream Deck XL, like in the beginning? Let me be clear, this is going to be hard to say because I am not against anybody getting their money. Get your bag, okay? Make your paper, sure. But you might want to consider who is getting paid Elgato, because the reality is, even Harris Heller, aka Senpai Gaming, is losing favor with his audience. And that's who you brought on the stream, the live stream. To be clear, I completely get it. Okay, he's an ambassador to the company and he provides valuable feedback to you directly. Okay, sure. But either he's not providing actual community feedback, or you as a company just aren't listening to him. Because you sure as aren't listening to the community at large. Look, I'm not even mad at Harris, but you can't deny that whenever he brings up Elgato recently, it comes off very shilly. Is shilly a word?
Something that lives right next to my main screen and right up against my camera. It shows me the extra things that I need, and then it gets out of my way.
Back to the prompter. I had an interesting idea that Elgato could implement that would make this slightly less painful. Earlier, I mentioned recycling bin vibes on the housing of Prompter XL. I get it. Compared to other prompters in its class, it is priced lower. This isn't something you should be using as road equipment, however. It's not built very durable for that kind of application. But what if hear me out, what if Elgato accepted like a trade up, like a program where you could send your original prompter in to upgrade to the XL for a much lower price? They could recondition them, they could resell them to people who want the smaller form factor even, or recycle them to get materials to build more Prompter XL products or even like other Elgato products. It would be more sustainable. And for those who wanted to upgrade like myself, it's a hard pill to swallow to shell out more money, but luckily, I do have a plan for the original prompter, which will get used, but I'll save that for another video. But there's an idea for you, Elgato. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Voice Sync at this point. So just so we're clear, I fully knew that Voice Sync wouldn't be any better when I bought Prompter XL. It's the exact same software, so of course it won't be any different. The intro of this video was more to make a point. Honest to God, Elgato, the comment section of my last video on this topic has like a few other suggestions for alternative software. People all over the internet who use Prompter or Prompter XL, they're clamoring for a better voice sync solution. I still use Prompt Smart Pro. I'm using it right now. Okay, I'm still using Prompt Smart Pro because voice sync is trash. Sure, there's a setting to change the behavior to work in phrase by phrase mode, but even then it still lags terribly. It's not like Elgato doesn't have the capital to license out an algorithm from a company that specializes in this type of technology. And lastly, and this is more of a technical gripe, could you not have made like a three-way switch on the back? Like if you slide it to the very right, it's display link. It's a display link device. If you slide it to the middle, it powers off the prompter. And if you slid it to the left, maybe, I don't know, an HDMI mode for people who really don't want to use display link. I get it. It was to ensure compatibility, but in some configurations, it can act really funny. And it's not like you didn't have room to put the serial number on the back, which I had to mask out for this video. Thanks for that, by the way. This could have been a sticker on like the other side of the prompter or even on the bottom near one of the tripod mounting points. Why do I seem a little mad? It's because they had an opportunity to fix a lot of the issues I just mentioned, but just released the product with the same problems, but bigger. So what do you guys think? I'll leave it to you. Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't seen the video on my voice sync workaround, it's right here. So you can feel free to watch that next. But for now, my name is Sean, and this has been Tech Mixer, and I'm out. Peace.